All right, everybody, great. Deepak Patel is going to take us through quickly just a couple, 2, 3 slides, and then we'll look at the actual model. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Jeff. Hi, my name is Deepak Patel. I manage the software development team here at Intertek AIM. And one of the exciting projects we worked on last year was taking what Glenn had shown you in terms of being able to capture real world models, and then on top of that, being able to add aware data. So what we're going to show is how some of our customers are able to leverage the laser scan, but on top of it, then visualize their aware data. So what we wanted to do was, go ahead, Jeff, next slide. So I think you've all seen the demos of Aware, right? So Aware, generally, when you go to the home page, you're able to see certain visualizations. You see a lot of tables that allow you to prioritize and see what actions are required, what inspections are required, and more of a tabular view. You might also see some charts and graphs to kind of give you some ideas. But what we really want to do, as in the past, which I think they show you a demo of how Aware can be used with AutoCAD drawings. So that was more of a two-dimensional isometric way of viewing data. This takes it to the next dimension of being able to take data in Aware and being able to map it onto 3D world. And that's what we try to achieve here, not only to be able to visualize data into something like Navis, but also allowing people, when they're in Navis, to locate where exactly I'm going to be doing my inspection and geolocate that inspection in that 3D space. So you know exactly where the inspection was done, and you don't have to use verbiage like, you know, it's 4 foot left or right of this or that. You get the exact location of where it happened. Go ahead, Jeff. Oh. So right now, in terms of more technical terms, there's two softwares, right? So we have Aware, which is a cloud-based application, and we have Navis, which is its own cloud-based application. And what we wanted to do was being able to move data between Aware and Navis, so that when you're in Navis world and you're walking around in the 3D, you can pull up Aware data. And that's more where some of the software development was done. We can do that with other applications too. We started with Navis. We're now doing some experimentation with Aviva, because there's many companies out there that do the 3D viewing of data, and each customer is going to choose their own, because we're not really selling Navis as the only product. You can buy, if you're Aviva house, you can have the Aviva version of the 3D viewing. So slowly, as we get demand, we're going to be adding additional integrations. And again, like I said, what you want to be able to do is when you're in the 3D world, we want you to be able to click on some point and be able to bring up the Aware data. And that's what I'm going to show you. So I think this is all the slides we're going to do. One more slide. So what we also want to do was, as you're out, next one. Yeah, you can keep going one more, because I'll show this in real time. So the whole idea is that you want users to be able to go out there and enter data and view data. So the flow that we wanted to design was that all the data, the real detailed data, the inspection data, the measurements, the pictures would be done in Aware. And then when somebody is in the 3D world, they can use that as more for their planning. If you're a contractor, you need to do some painting in a certain area, you can easily see the visuals of where you need to do the painting. So that was going to be the general workflow, is manage all your data in Aware for inspection, and then use Navis to be able to have your 3D view. And if you go take something like an iPad out, or any tablet, Android, onto the actual facilities, you can have more of this view where half the data can be Navis, half the data can be Aware, and you can kind of use both applications at the same time. But I'm just going to show a little demo now, because I think we've done enough slides of how in a real world we've been able to add Aware data on top of something like Navis.
Okay, I'm going to share that software screen now so that you can take us through that live look at the application. So that is on your front screen there, and go ahead and take control of that.
Okay, so this is, again, Glenn showed you how we can capture this laser scan of a facility, and here's an example of a facility. What we've added on top of this is actual data. So all these points here that you're seeing represent specific inspection that was done in Aware. So if I click on here, it's going to bring data. This data is collected and stored in Aware. So if you were in Aware, you make your findings, your priority, you have who's going to work on it. So this is something that needs repair, and then it's assigned to a paint contractor. And then there's also more detailed pictures that were taken while using Aware that can be stored here and accessed here. The other thing that we allow to be done in the software is color coding and using different icons. So here you can have red, of course, meaning something more high priority, and then you can also do by different categories. So we're able to map in Aware, depending on what priority you gave it, what kind of work it was supposed to be, we can map it to different types of things. And here's an example of all the different categories we can map it to. So in this example of a use case, they wanted to be able to buy, okay, it was an anomaly, it's a paint type of work, it's priority 1, paint type of work, priority 2, so forth. You can also map it to different things. So there was a repair required, what type of repair was required, and then again, color coded by categories. And by doing this within Navis itself, I can prioritize what I want to see. I can use the filtering options they have. They only show me the work that's priority 1. And based on that, when somebody's looking at visually, they can see, okay, I only want to see priority 1, and they can focus on those items. The integration happens automatically. So when data is entered in Aware, we can set up a scheduled job. So every night, we're pushing data from Aware into Navis, and it can be done hourly depending on what use case you have. So the users, when they're walking through the facility, they're seeing pretty much up-to-date data as to what has been inspected, what the state of it is. And also, from the user point of view, or the customers that have been the early adopters of this, for certain types of users, they don't want them going into Aware. So if I'm a paint contractor, once I go to a specific place and I finish my work, I want to be able to close out that ticket right from this application. We also allow them to go in here, and as they do the work, they can go to some of the screens and say, okay, I'm closing it out. And that data also gets fed into Aware. So now within Aware, it'll show up as that work was complete. And this can be, so again, all the features that Navis allows is what we're able to leverage here. As we do it for other softwares like Aviva, it might look a little different, but the functionality is the same. The idea being that we can synchronize data from Aware into these applications and then be able to go the other way to when things are closed out. And then as we showed in the other slide, this can be run, this is all being run from a browser. So you can actually run this on any mobile device as long as you have an internet connection. You can be actually on the platform itself and be walking around. You can bring this up. So also from data entry point of view, let's assume that I found something here. If I find something wrong here that I want to mark, I can create what they call POI in here, and I can geolocate this exact location, and then that can get associated into Aware as something that was found. So now you have the exact location where it was found, and you have a mapping between this and your Aware application so that you can kind of track those records. Let's see, any questions? This is pretty much all I really want to show.
That's wonderful. Thank you. That's a great look at it, combined.
Oh, you got a question?
Glenn's overview.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I do. So you got the mobile device application. Are you trying to make it AR based as well at some point?
In the future. So actually this Navis product that we're using, they just signed a deal with, what's that company?
Magic Leap.
Magic Leap, that's right. They just signed a deal with Magic Leap to be able to use their goggles to be able to walk through it. And once they release that, we should be able to leverage it. But then, then as you're walking through it and using your augmented reality classes, you should be able to pull up this data and point your finger or something at it and click on here and actually see more the details. And this we can change how much detail you see. It's all configurable based on what all fields you're collecting and where we can show those additional fields.
So, yeah,
And you can,
virtual glasses.
yeah, so, and you can customize it for a user. Like if I wanted this for an operator, they can have all their pressures and operating parameters.
Yeah.
In these cases, this is greatly creating an efficiency of a remote assessment of a condition before crews are sent or as crews are sent. So the distance that's created between onshore, offshore, for instance, is where a great deal of benefits is derived.
Yeah, and you can see how things are close to each other. So if somebody's doing work, they can also use that, kind of like a map to see, okay, where I'm gonna be doing my work.
Right. Well, thank you, Deepak. That's excellent. Great. Appreciate that. So between Glenn and Deepak, thank you, Glenn. All right, I'm going to pause the screen for a moment. Nikhil Kumar will come into the room and give us an overview of predictive analytics using Aware. So I will simply mute the mic for a moment and then we'll transition to that presentation.
So you ready for Nikhil?
Please, yes.